Well, it's the earliest we've ever had senior night, so normally I try sort of like bypass it in our mind and just have a regular good meet. It's just harder this year. It's so early and it's in February. It's really hard to celebrate what people have done when you still got over half your season left. Um, but part of it is it's a good celebration. We have a lot of experienced people, a lot of seniors that we get to celebrate, but we just also have to have a really good meet. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. We have to get back on a roll and continue on a roll as we go on the road after this. So just try to squeeze the most juice out of the lemon this week.
Are you? I mean, are you? It's like you said, it's too early to really be worried about NQS, but it is your last home meet. So is it a part where you're like, okay, let's? It would be really nice to get a good home score here,
Yeah.
or are you not thinking about that yet?
Well, I mean, it's both.
Yeah.
I want a good home meet, and that means it'll probably be a good score if we have a good home meet. Um, you only get so many opportunities to get a good one, but let's go get that. That would be really nice. The score is the most important thing that we can do this Friday. Get a good score, set ourselves up so that the good thing is we're on the road a lot, and those meets are worth more than home meets, and we've already got two really good home meets, so we're in a good situation, but we don't want to let opportunities go by. So yeah, just trying to. And look, we got things to fix a little bit, so we're still not full speed. We're really in a good spot with our options, but we still have tweaking left to do if we want to make a really good deep run.
So you say like you can erase all the scores on the road, right? If you're good enough, but
Yep.
at home to have a good home meet, a third good home meet, maybe that's something you can fall back on, right? Is that
Yeah,
it's kind of like early in a lineup when you get a good score, it
that's
kind of
the
takes the
goal.
pressure off, right?
That's the goal. That we have six scores that we can keep, and you can keep as many as you want from the road. But definitely, one more home meet means a good home meet score would mean a ton of pressure is off of us. Um, if we don't get a good home meet score, it really doesn't say anything other than every meet is really a lot more pressure on getting the score. But let's one thing at a time. We have to do a good performance to get a good score, anyways, and that's what we're working on, trying to fix the little things.
Is it? Do you think? I mean, is there a something you're trying to improve with starting meets first two rotations, or do you think it's just maybe been some dice rolls lately that that it's
Yeah,
been a slow start?
I think it's a combination of. I think Cassie had it right. It's a combination of things. It's look, some of it's technical. Some of it right now is we're missing consistently a couple of things on bars that we aren't missing in practice. So something's going on. I believe we're trying too hard at times. Um, Arya probably has a good point, in meaning she's looking around, and you can't impact. We talk a lot about controllables, and if you get outside your mindset, checking the other person's score is good if it gets your mindset right. But if it doesn't, then you've just hurt yourself and the team. So I think some of it's just that. Just like stay focused, figure your system out, and try to replicate that. We are better at that at home than on the road right now. So this is one we've talked a lot. This is one more opportunity to practice what we preach, so that when we get back on the road, we're not having to learn this lesson again.
And yeah, with the seniors going into their senior nights, and how do you've seen a lot of those? Just how do you want them to approach it, and what do you maybe try to impart to them when they're going into it?
I actually really like the what both girls were talking about. Like this is a celebration. Like there's so much season left that we got to be really careful that we don't get wrapped up in the drama of this is uh, the way to curse your season is to start talking about this is my last. This is my last Wednesday practice. This is my last whatever. So I've been pretty obscure with what our calendar looks like in the future on purpose, so nobody really knows if this is their last Saturday strength and conditioning. So I think that's it. Just celebrate. Just go out there and give back a little bit to the community that's given so much, and high five your fans, high five your student section, because it's the best I think it's the best atmosphere in college gymnastics, maybe in college athletics, and let's just go celebrate that. They get to be a part of it.
And then I guess it's early to talk about turning the page, but is it kind of you said that how weird the season is? You become the road warriors, after this. What will that be like to just kind of be like, all right, now we're it's kind of us against the world for the rest of the season. What's that going to be like?
Thank goodness. I mean, like I've always said, I mean, you know this. I like the first couple of meets to be on the road because I think your team gels better when they're forced to get out of the home environment. There's too much to take for granted at home. There's you sleeping in your own bed. You don't have to have as strict of a system because you've already sort of built a temporary or actually basically a semi-permanent system for how to be good at practice and all that type of stuff. So getting on the road is where you can actually reinvent yourself and try to figure out what works. And for only having a couple of road meets at the beginning of the year, this has been really difficult. I'm glad they have their home system figured out, but we got to get on the road and get get the system rolling. I think LSU was a good wake up call for them that we got to get on the road and get it fixed quickly, get ourselves figured out. But I don't blame them for struggling after. I mean, only in reality we only had Arkansas before this for as a dual meet. The Vegas meet really, it's an anomaly. It's basically you go from Christmas break right to a meet, and there's no life to balance in that meet. So
Yeah, like the semester barely started or hadn't started at all yet.
right, right. Arkansas was real. That was a real road test, and then the only other one we had was last Friday night.
And about the seniors, I was talking with Cassie earlier, and I was telling her about like she had no idea there's these athletes on the pillars up there
Mm-hmm.
in the arena, and I was telling her about the stuff by the village entrance where there's like art, I don't know, just different artifacts from different sports. I was like, don't you think it'd be cool to maybe you've been in every nook and cranny of this arena and maybe your picture will be up or something. And she's like, well, that banner's pretty cool, and she pointed to the Final Four banner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's already here. She's
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
left the mark, right? So I just in that way, just what do you think these seniors kind of the fifth years and the ones that are celebrating? What do you think their impact is, and just what are you celebrating on this weekend?
I just think we're in a really good spot, and part of the reason we're in a really good spot is because of them. A big part of the reason. Um, Look, with that, all the good and the bad that this team is right now has it revolves a bit around the fifth years. I mean, they're the most experienced group. They've been through the widest range of things you can go through on this team, but we're a dangerous team now every year, not just once every decade. We're a dangerous team every year because Cassie Stevens and Aria Brush decided to come here and make that. So I mean that you can't take away, and there's no way to quantify it, whether you're an All-American or All SEC or you've scored a couple of tens or whatever the case is. You don't get to take away, and you can't quantify what they've done for the actual culture of Auburn gymnastics. So we have we're in our seventh meet. This is our seventh meet, I believe, and we have 5 197s already. Uh, the the 4 years before this, if we hit five or more 197s, we hit two semifinals, two finals, one semifinal, and then we got wiped out last year with illness. So it's a good indicator that we're in a really good spot. They've set us up, and we're frustrated. Like we've only got 5 years where we have five or more 197s, and this is one of them, and we're mad. So that's what they brought to the table. Maybe that's how I should put it. And should we go over the other four? Is like
Sure,
the reason we do senior night the way we do it.
Yes.
So the other four that are all our seniors are getting recognized. The fifth years don't have an option to come back, so we recognized them last year. And then after senior night is when they solidified their decision to come back. That's the same thing is going to be the process with these other four. They have the ability to change their minds, so we're going to celebrate their senior night now. If they come back, that'll be a celebration for the whole year. We don't need a night for that. trust me, I'll be celebrating if the seniors come back for one more year. So.
Right. Is it cool that they're and you're looking forward to that too with Gabby, Olivia, all they've much the same. They've been a
Yeah,
big part of this program.
yeah. I mean, all the seniors that we're celebrating tomorrow or Friday night. That's the they've put us here. I mean, we talk a lot about Cassie and Aria because they're not coming. We know they're not coming
Right.
back. But the other seniors, I mean, even the new one, even Sydney. I mean, to come in and compete right away out of Division Three into the SEC, and she's a backup on beam too. So she's on 2 events in our depth chart. That's amazing, and hopefully we get a few of these guys to come back because I think it'll help solidify next year what Cassie and Aria did for this season.
Right. I told Cassie because she's done all around and basically started like all these meets. I said you're like the Cal Ripken of
Yeah.
gymnastics, and she said I don't know who that is. Had to
No,
explain who Cal Ripken is.
nobody can touch her numbers
Right.
anymore.
The
Like,
records are going to be unless COVID happens again.
well, but you'd have to go all around every meet.
Yeah.
I mean, she basically has gone all around every meet. Yeah. Wow.
That's nuts. So yeah,
Yeah.
like the odds of this unprecedented pandemic happening again, and it
Let's
lining
not do
up with
that.
an unprecedented all-around starter all the time, it's not gonna happen.
If the pandemic happens again, you're not interviewing me after that. I'm done. I am done.